Okay, so face recognition we'll discuss today. Uh, Let me go full screen on this. So face recognition is generally a two-step process in which we first perform the face detection and then followed by the face recognition. Face detection is the process of finding the face in an image. So it's just like the YOLO algorithm, in which we look for objects and created bounding boxes around those objects. So similarly, face detection is a process in which we want to create bounding boxes around the faces which are present in the image. So we can localize the region in which we want to recognize. Uh, there are multiple ways of doing face recognition. There were conventional methods used, the open conventional signal processing methods or image processing methods are there. But the latest in this, technology is the deep learning based localization of the faces and also the landmarks on the faces. So the primary landmarks might be, say, the two eyes, the nose, and the lip end, edges of the two lips. So this localizes the face and the landmarks on the faces. So again, there are maybe multiple ways. Even within deep learning, there are multiple papers which have discussed how to do this. The one which I will be showing in the practical example will be using this multitask cascaded convolutional networks, MTCNN. We'll be just taking the MTCNN library and we'll use it. We'll not go too much into details of this, but the framework basically leverages a cascaded architecture with 3 stages of carefully designed deep convolutional networks to predict face and the landmark locations in a coarse to fine manner. So if you want to know more details about it, I would encourage you guys to go and take a look at this paper, which discusses this in more detail. But for now, we'll just use this as a tool to identify or create the bounding boxes around the faces. But this will be pretty much similar to the way YOLO worked, along with the landmark locations, which will be added to the output of in addition to the bounding box location, it will also return the locations of the landmark points. So these are some examples of outputs created by MTCNN, and you can see it is able to do excellent identification, even if there are hundreds of people or say tens of people in a particular image. So once the once the face is detected, we want to do face recognition, in which we want to do, say, we want to find out if a particular face is of a particular image of a person or not. So that's what is face recognition about. So in this, there are again multiple papers which discuss how to do this. One of the state-of-the-art methods is FaceNet, or in this, one of the state-of-the-art method is FaceNet. It's a architecture in which there is a convolutional architecture. Then it doesn't give you a direct output whether a face belongs to a particular person or not. What it returns to you is a set of embeddings. Okay, for example, it returns to you a set of embeddings. If you pass a face into this convolutional neural network, it will return to you, say, 4 numbers or 5 numbers here. Okay, after that, suppose what we follow, the method we follow to identify whether it is of a particular person or not, or the method which you follow to actually train this network is called as the triplet loss method. Triplet loss. In this, we have a anchor image. Then we have a positive image, which basically is the same, another photograph of the anchor. Okay, it is just another photograph of the same person which is in the anchor. And there is a negative example. Negative example is a photograph who doesn't belong to the same person. Okay, so suppose we have, say, 10,000 photographs of 100 people. Okay, of 100 people, we have 10,000 photographs with approximately say 100 pictures of each person. Okay, or say, let's go a little, say we have 1,000 photographs of 100 people, then about 10 examples of each person. Then what we can do is we can take randomly choose two pictures of the same person, okay, and one picture of a different person from the set of 1000, and then pass these three images, which is the two pictures of the same person and one picture of the different person, into the convolution generator. This will return the embeddings, about 4 or 5 numbers. Basically, it is encoding the face into 4 to 5 or very limited number of embeddings. Okay, these are 5-6 numbers within which the full face is embedded or full face is encoded. Okay, now after that we calculate the distance between this vector and this vector, and calculate the distance between this vector and this vector. Okay, so you can think of this is the anchor, this is the negative example, this is the positive example. We calculate the distance between these two vectors. How do we calculate distance? It's basically, simplest example is Euclidean distance, which is square root of x1 square minus x2 square plus y1 square plus y2 square plus z1 square plus z2 square, like that. Okay, so this is x1 x2 sorry, this is x1 x2 x3. Yeah, so suppose this is what I want to say is x1 square minus x2 square, y1 square minus y2 square, z1 square minus z3 square, k1 square minus k3 square, something like that. And similarly, you find the distance between this point, this minus this square, this minus this square, this minus this square, something like that. Okay? So that way you can calculate the vector distances, the distance between these two vectors. Okay. Now, suppose the negative example, our target, our aim is to reduce the distance between the positive example. Like after the learning, what should happen is the positive and the anchor value should have, like the convolution generator CNN should produce the encodings in such a way that if two examples, two images of the same person, that is the anchor and the positive, are passed through the CNN, the distance should be closer than if I pass the anchor and a negative image, which is not of the anchor. Then the distance should be larger. So this is how, so the loss function for this is calculated by this formula. The loss function for training this CNN is calculated by using this formula, where f of where xi represents an image. Okay, this is the anchor image. This is the image of the positive. This is again the anchor image. This is the image of the negative. F of xi is the embedding produced by the anchor image. F of xi is the embedding produced by the positive image. F of so this one again, the complete embedding produced, like f is basically embedding of that image. Now we calculate the distance between the embedding of the anchor and the positive, and embedding of the anchor and the negative, and the distance between these two should be at least alpha distance away. Okay, so what I'm saying is the distance, like after training, our target is this distance versus, suppose this distance is x1 and this distance is x2. We want x2 minus x1 to be always greater than alpha. Okay, so to do that, what we'll do is we'll try to minimize this function. If we try to minimize this function to be as close to zero as possible, then what happens is this CNN is automatically trained to produce, if you give two images to this CNN which are of the same person, this will produce embeddings which are close. While if you give two images to this CNN which are of different persons, then you will get an embedding which are farther away. Okay, at least alpha distance away. Okay, and that's what this triplet loss function is about. So you can train it over a much smaller set of images by randomly choosing images among these 1000 images for creating this triplet loss. And then once the CNN is trained, okay, once the CNN is trained, after that you may ask that, what if I need 1000 images for training the CNN, then what use is it in an organization where I may have to, I may just have 1 or 2 images of a person. When a new employee comes, I may just get 1 or 2 images of that person, and I need to detect that person every time. For that, Once the CNN is trained, this is the FaceNet CNN, which is trained. After that, this FaceNet CNN, what we can do, it can work in a one-shot learning pattern, one-shot learning form, okay? In which, suppose this is the new person which arrived in your organization. You pass that person's face image in any, one image into that FaceNet architecture, and you will get an embedding, okay, of say 5 numbers, okay? You store this embedding into a file, okay? You store this embedding in a file. Now, next time the person next time the same person comes before the camera, you calculate the embedding, okay? You calculate the embedding again, and you find what is the distance between this embedding and the original embedding which was created during the initial registration. And you have a threshold, okay? If this threshold is about, say, you can set the threshold, say 0.4. So that means if this distance is less than 0.4, then only you will accept that person's image, that image as the image belonging to that particular employee. Okay. If it is greater than 0.4, you will say that image does not belong to that particular employee. So even once you have the pre-trained FaceNet architecture, you can just take one image of the person and still generate embeddings which can give you the recognition of that person every time the person comes up again. Okay, and if a different person comes before the algorithm, then you will have a much larger or a longer distance. Okay, so this is the basics of image recognition. And what I wanted to show you is just a 1%. Okay, so this is the code which I had made. In this, so I will not run it. I will share it and you can run it. So here I have taken 2 images. One is a group picture and another is a single picture. One is a group picture of world leaders and then another is a single picture of Mr. Modi. Okay. So after that, I have imported some of the files, but you need to install this empty CNN. So you call pip install empty CNN, and then you also need to install Deepface. So you call pip install Deepface. It is a library from Facebook to recognize faces and their emotions. So and FaceNet is actually inside the Deepface. So you have the FaceNet architecture or the pre-trained weights of FaceNet available within Deepface. So once these libraries are downloaded, then after that, I just loaded grouppic.jpg, and then maybe I should. Yeah, so I just loaded grouppic.jpg, and then I created this detector is equal to empty CNN, and I just called detector.detect_faces, in which I passed the pixels, which is basically the image, okay, which was read by pyplot.imread. So this was read and was stored in pixels that was passed into this detector, which gives me a array of it gives me a list of numbers. Okay, and those list of numbers are shown here in this result. Okay, these are stored in faces. So I'm printing all the faces. So it is recognizing the face location. Okay, it is recognizing the bounding boxes of those faces, and it is telling that how confident it is that there is a face. Okay, 99% confident, and it is giving us key points. The key point for left eye, what is the location? Right eye, what is the location? Similarly, mouth left, mouth right, etc. Okay, and after that, what I did was this is a function which I created, in which I am going through all of these faces. Okay, all of these. I'm going through this array of faces. Okay, I'm going through the array of faces, and then I'm drawing the bounding box. I'm drawing a rectangle. I'm drawing a rectangle around each of these face on the original image, And then I am adding yes, I am adding that rectangle, and I am adding dots or circles. I'm adding circles of radius 2 around the key points. Okay. And then I am showing that image here. So here you can see at around each of these world leaders, we are able to draw a rectangle along with the key points marked on their faces. Okay. So this is the image which was taken from the internet from G20 Summit of World Leaders, and then we are able to identify the faces and mark them. Once that is done, I now will do the face verification, or will try to identify if a particular person is there in this image or not. For that, I took a standalone image of Mr. Modi as a verification image file. I imported the deep face and the PIL library, which is for reading and modifying images. And deep face library is the one which will do that recognition. It has the FaceNet architecture built inside it as a model. So I took the verification image. Here I have the verification. I read the verification image. And then this is the function. In this function, what I'm doing is, this is the result list which I am passing. This result list is basically the array of faces, array of all the elements in that face array, and the file name of this group pick. Okay, that is passed into this. What happens is it goes through each of those array elements, like each of those face rectangular face. It goes through each element in this list. Okay, it goes through each element in this list or each line in this list, and for each line it extracts the face out. It extracts the rectangular face out. Okay, and then for a rectangular face data out, that is shown here. Okay, so it extracts here. Okay, so it is taking a sub array from that full array of image. It is taking a sub array out, which is that face, a region of that face, and that is saved in the test.jpg. That is saved in the test.jpg. Every time in the loop it is saving it, because deepface.verify, this function basically does not take a variable, but it takes a file name. So that's why I had to take that face image and then put it in a test in a file named as test.jpg. This file is replaced for every iteration of this loop. Okay, and then it tests if the verification image file, which is modi.image.jpg, which is shown here actually. Okay, I have taken this as my verification image. You can think of it as the first time the employee arrives in your company, and you have just taken one picture of the employee, and you want to check if the next time the employee comes, whether the same employee exists or not. So that is taken here, and you have test dot. So you took the verification image file. Okay, and that is what is put in the so we compare deepface the verification image file with the test.jpg. Test.jpg basically goes through each of these faces one by one. So this becomes test.jpg once, then this, then this, then this. So in a loop, I go on testing all these faces. Okay, and then if the image belongs to Mr. Modi, I call it this is Modi. I put on the plot this is Modi. If it does not belong to Mr. Modi, then I put this is not Modi. Okay, and after that, this function is called. This function is basically this draw face. Okay, draw faces is called here. Okay, and in this, you can see it is verifying each face one by one in the loop, and it has extracted all the faces from this image. And in this, you can see it is able to say, this is not Modi, this is not Modi. Okay, it is like going like this. And whenever it arrives at Mr. Modi's picture, you can see it is able to say, this is Modi. Okay, so that way it is able to identify not just the location of the face, but it is also able to identify whether a particular person is present in that face or not. Apart from that, deep face library also has many other interesting functions. So one useful function is this deepface.analyze, where you can put any image. You can even put one of these extracted images in here, and you can try to identify the demography or other information related to that face. For example, I tried to identify the age, gender, emotion, and race of the verification image file of Mr. Modi, and it shows age as 45, which is pretty off. Gender, at least it is able to say correctly. Emotion, angry, which again is wrong, I think. And race, it is saying as Middle Eastern, which is also wrong. But yeah, you can see that most of the times it will perform well. This is probably a very edited face. That's why it is making somewhere around that. So, but it is not that great. It sometimes makes a lot of errors in that. So after that, I have also added the earlier code, which I have put in many other codes of mine, where just putting a webcam interface so that you can take your own picture. So by using this webcam of this laptop, I was able to take a picture in this of myself here, you can see, and it is able to, so I'm again saving it as test.jpg. I'm identifying the locations on the face, and the landmarks in the face, and I am doing emotion and the demography recognition on this, which is giving me, age, gender, emotion, and race. Again, race here is wrong, but overall other things are okay. So this is all I wanted to discuss, and